love and light. You know, I just wanted to clear the air. It came to my attention. I was having a conversation earlier this week, and it came to my attention that for whatever reason, right, a lot of people assume that spirituality is something to do with witchcraft. That's absolutely false. False. Very false. Like, witchcraft is witchcraft. Voodoo is voodoo. Santeria is Santeria. Hoodoo is hoodoo. And spirituality is spirituality. Just like religious is religious. There is a difference between all of these things. Okay? Spirituality is invoking your spirit. It's really just understanding that you have a relationship outside of the flesh. Okay? For some strange reason. Okay? Another thing. Okay? There's also a belief that, like I said, spirituality is something to do with witchcraft, and that religion, or knowing the word, okay, compared to spirituality, okay, is supposed to be higher than the other, or I don't know. I don't know who rates other people's spiritual practices or religion. But one thing we do need to get understood, that that is not of God. Okay, judging the next, first of all, is a blasphemous act, right? We all got our jokes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got the, funnies. I know I'm a funny motherfucker. I ain't gonna even lie, excuse my French or whatever. If anybody's offended by it, okay, you can click on. But as I was saying though, judging the next person in itself is a blasphemous offense. Like, there's one thing to have innocent jokes, that you really don't mean harm to. But there is absolutely another thing when um, sit back and just really judge a person based on actions from 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or, you know, people just can't really even have a bad day anymore, I guess. Like, because you have people, trying to catch you in the act of being some, you know, some sort of, I guess, some sort of monstrous bitch or something like that. I really am a firm believer of treating people the way that they treat me. Okay. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're judging me based on, or anybody for that matter, you know, um, sometimes we have to first use some logic as opposed to always, reacting in emotion. And then once we get there in the most emotional selves, you know, we've fucked up other things in our lives, because spirituality basically states, um, the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, the law of karma, the law of, you know, um, um, what you put in, you get out, things like that. You know what I mean? It's really basic, actions. Like, it's just really basic that whatever you put your action into or your energy into, that the universe has no other response but to give you what you put your energy into. Okay? So if you keep saying that I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, okay, think of it as a drop of water, okay, a drop into a puddle, and you see the ripple effect. What we often observe from the ripple effect in water is that it goes out, but a lot of times when we're in smaller amounts of water, we don't get a chance to see it ripple back, right? But life definitely is a ripple back. Every action you take, every thought you make out into the universe ripples back to you. Okay. So, first of all, when I was saying about judging, right, we can't judge people based on their past mistakes without extending understanding, you know. Okay. If we are not extending understanding of where that person may have been in their life at that point in their life, if we're not extending forgiveness, if we're not extending, certain things as in grace, mercy, things of that nature, then you ripple back that effect to yourself. So at times when you need mercy, grace, forgiveness, things of that nature, you won't have that because you have rippled out into the earth no protection, no support, no none of these things. Okay. So when we put thoughts, actions, into the universe has no choice but to give you what you give out. Now, on top of judging individuals, we also judge each religion, each person's spiritual practices, and how they decide that they are going to, praise God, the creator, the universe. I mean, whichever denomination that you would like to call. I mean, some people may call, God, um, Buddha. We have Mary Magdalene. I mean, there's a lot of different religious figures that people may uh, put their energy into. Okay. So who am I, okay, to come and tell Paul the Jew that his religion is wrong? Okay. I had a conversation actually where I was talking to a Christian the other day, and he told me that my self mastery was down here. Wait, and self mastery is not even religion, right? So before we make comments, first of all, we need to be more educated. Okay, we don't need to make opinions in general conversation if we really don't know what we were talking about. But he said Christianity was up here and that self mastery is down there, and that self mastery is basically trying to put yourself as a god. Okay, so let's be clear: self mastery is self growth, self development, self awareness, having an awareness so profound with your own self and spirit, you understand what is you're doing or not doing that is not giving you the result you want in each situation, in each person, with different relationships, with your job, with your children, things of that nature. Okay. Self mastery is understanding that doing the same thing over and over, okay, expecting the same result is absolute insanity. Okay. So that's what self mastery is. It's actually just being so aware and so profound in the relationship and self love that you have with yourself. You understand where you go wrong, how you show up in the room, where your energy is at, how you may draw certain energies to you, or how you may have come into certain situations. You have the self awareness to go back. You understand and even can rewind time in your mind, so to speak, to understand where you were, where your energy was. Self awareness is being able to understand where the other person's point of view is coming from. understanding, self love, self growth, self development. That is what self mastery is. It has, yes, it has. It's similar to the spiritual walking path. Yes, and I am. You know, um, I have changed some of my beliefs as far as spiritual compared to religion. Okay, I was baptized, so I was a Baptist, and come from Christian background, or most of my family's denomination is Christian, and so what some of the things that made me just simply change religion to spirituality is that I realized that religion was created to separate the people. Okay, on top of race, on top of you know what your location is compared to mine, on top of your income status, on top of whether I'm male and you're female, on top of ethnicity, okay, nationality, okay, not the same thing, okay, um, state lines, fences, okay, me versus you, them versus us, okay. Religion was created to separate the people, okay, and this is something that my spirit has told me, and I believe my spirit over any word that's written in a book, okay. And it's not that I'm saying that the Bible isn't real, okay. I'm not saying that at all. I know a lot of people really do worship the words in the Bible. What I am saying is that spirituality helps you, you know, connect with the earth, and religion doesn't teach you that. And as brown people, okay, we have to know that our history specifically has been chopped up, it has been spread about, okay. Our history and Bible, yes, has history, has historical events and things of that nature, prophetic events that happened, prophetic people. Um, but the Bible was written, okay, what, about 1000 AD, and I'm really estimating it's about 1187, somewhere in there. I wrote an article on that, honeydobetter.com. Check it out. But point being, okay, the conversation that I was having the other day, the gentleman was saying that if I didn't know the word, he didn't want to hear anything about anything that I had to say. Okay, while insulting any of the beliefs that I had, and of course I didn't get offended because he, okay, can believe what he wants to believe, and he has that right. Okay, I don't let everybody else's, you know, how they show up affect me. Self mastery. Okay, and just a tip right there. So then he continues to say that, he goes to the Bible and the Word, and I'm steady trying to get him to and ask him about, but what about the Spirit? What about the Spirit, right? Oh, well, what does the Bible say about the Spirit? But you have to know that there was a relationship with your spirit before the Bible came about, okay? Spirituality is much older than the Bible, whether it's the New Version, the Old Version, the King James Version, you know. And I did think that um, one of the Creator God's instruction is to question everything, right? And so now he said that I was questioning God. Now, if I receive, okay, instruction from the Creator, I think I can tell that he tells that to me. It's not in the Word, okay. The Word is meant for upliftment. The Word is meant for examples of education. The Word is meant for, um, like I said, just a show and tell, so to speak, of a piece. Okay. And from my understanding, if you don't have all of the prophecies, all of the stories, all of the books, right? Therefore, you don't have the whole story. So if we know, right, and maybe you don't know, but I have done some research. And I can continue to let him talk and speak and everything. And then I hit him with well, if the Bible stories are meant to be followed the way that people are following them, have we ever stopped to ask ourselves, wait, this might sting a bit. The Romans killed Jesus Christ, right? Not the Hebrews, but the Romans. Okay. We know that the 12 tribes of Judah's God was Hebraic, right? Then Jesus would have been Hebraic, and so we know that he was killed by Romans. But then a Roman emperor named Constantine and a whole group of royalties, about 16, 20 of them or so, got together and decided which books would be placed in the Bible. Decided the order of everything, all of the whole bit. Okay. So if a Roman emperor, okay, after Jesus Christ was, okay, sacrificed, and the Romans, we know, killed Jesus, and then a Roman emperor, Constantine, went on a 100 years crusade, stuffing Christianity down the masses, okay, stuffing it, making them take, making them take this as their denominated religion. This was among many ghettos, guetos, Guetos, correct, guetos, yeah, in about 1200 AD, okay, maybe even a little bit earlier. It might be about 1100, somewhere between 1100 and 1200 AD. Constantine went on a 100 years crusade, 100, 100, okay, to stuff Christianity down the masses' throats in the ghettos of Portugal, okay, part of Spain. So you know that big old hole that opened up a couple of years back that had nothing but skulls in it and bones, thousands upon thousands. I think they said it may have been 6 to 10,000 carcasses in one mass grave. That's what they did with those people, even after they submitted to taking Christianity. They broke up their families. They killed the men. They raped and snatched the women. They took the children. The children 7 to 10 were sold and given to other families as slaves. Okay. The babies were given to families as well. And then, check this out, the babies between the ages of 3 and 6 or 7 were put on a boat, taken away from their families, and taken to the Caribbean and other slave trades and places. Why is that? So clearly, right? First of all, we see now how our families are collecting generational curses, okay, of brokenness. It was by design. It's been done on purpose, right? they broke us away from our families, and they've been doing it over and over again with these events. Katrina being one of them started, passing people off over everywhere. People couldn't find their families and things like that. I mean, how many times are we going to get duped, people? Okay. I'm just the messenger. Okay. The babies were shipped. The ones that could not tell the stories of who they were. The ones that could easily forget their names, forget who their families and mothers were. Okay. Put on a boat and taken, even after a lot of these men and women begged, begged, and pleaded, please, please, not my child. And they took them anyway, after they accepted Christianity. Okay. Right now in Portugal, there are castles of skulls because they killed so many people. So many people. Okay. Black and brown. Okay, so then on top of Constantine and his 100 years crusade, they went around place to place to place doing the same damn thing over and over, and they've been doing it over and over. Okay, so on top of that, now we have a King James. King James. Whoa, who is King James? People don't read anymore. People just don't go back in history. King James was a tyrant, and he was also Roman. Hello. Is it hitting anywhere yet? Okay. He was also Roman. Another thing that gets me thinking and gets my buzz really buzzing. Okay. God, it's just a beautiful thing. He's amazing. Okay. How did we get to the point to where there are now I think it's 500 billion copies of the Bible sold? Sold. It's not free information. It's sold. And who's the corporation that collects these proceeds for the last however long this Bible has been going around? Who gets the money? Who gets the money? Because the only free Bible I've ever gotten was from a church, and then I felt like I was stealing from the house of the Lord. Okay, they make you feel like you're stealing from the house of the Lord. Okay, that's by design. Okay. I know they tell you to take your Bibles out. The Bibles, I know. I'm just kidding, but um, it was just a really deep conversation, and he had no historical facts. Okay, he just wanted to keep talking about the word in the Bible. Okay, and look, I ain't read every book. I have not read every story in the Bible. Okay, I know quite a few of the important stories, but again, it's just like how the cartoons used to be when I was growing up in the 80s and stuff. Like those cartoons always had a lesson. Okay, these days don't. They just on the TV. They just something to entertain, but it's definitely not anything to guide. Okay, as far as on the cartoons. Okay, and so the stories in the Bible are meant to give you an example on how your behavior, your disposition should be in situations similar to the Bible story. It is not for worship. It is not to be quoted um, for everything. It is for upliftment of your spirit. Okay. Um, and again, spirituality had a spirit before the word was written. You connect with the Creator through your spirit, not through what you know in the word, but He knows you through your spirit. Okay? He knows you through your spirit. And people could say, God know my heart. God know my heart. Yes, I know He know your heart. You know, you love God. But then you would still walk around and do demonic acts and behaviors. It's hypocritical. You cannot be serious. Okay? It's hypocritical. God is understanding. God is of love. The Messiah, Jesus, He was of love and understanding. Our people, before they got here on this land, there was 100 million people already here. 100 million people. 100 million people. Over about maybe 1,500, 2,000 or so tribes. Yeah, a lot of tribes. Not that many that exist now because they killed them. Like, no, I'm not laughing at them killing them. I'm laughing at the disconnection everybody wants to have with this, right? Because when I asked my spirit told me these answers. So I'm wondering, like, why you think that these answers will be in a book. Your spirit will tell you which book will give you the right answers, actually, and it's not in the Bible. Okay? The answers that we seek are not in the Bible. I don't know. I believe my spirit. I trust my spirit on that. Okay? And like I said, with some of these things that I've discovered just by reading and looking through history, it's easy to tell we've been hoodwinked, like Malcolm X said. Yeah, we have. We've been bamboozled. Yes, we have. We've been led astray. Yes, we have. It was done on purpose. It was done on purpose. Okay? Self mastery helps you align with your spirit so that God knows your name. You know, that part of the Bible that says, I do not know you. That Jesus said, I do not know you. Yeah. He knows you through your spirit. And if you're steady reading a word that is not reliable, that means you're not even talking to him correctly. Another thing we have to also realize that so many languages, okay? Now, if the Bible was written in Hebrew first, in Hebraic, then transferred to Latin, Greek, okay, and a couple of other languages. I think English, it didn't get to English until about the fifth or sixth time it was redistributed and rewritten again, okay? We also need to understand that our language was created to cast spells on each other by design. English language is the only language that has words that mean the same thing, has words spelled kind of similar, okay, sounds similar but not similar at all. Okay, and when you go to Latin or when you go to Greek, these words totally different meanings than what we have made them to be. Okay, that being said, we have to realize that if the English language gives us another meaning in another language, so does the words in the Bible. So when you actually translate the Bible, or just say the Lord's Prayer, from English into Hebrew, you will find a totally different wording and passage. And you get, actually, it's actually a prayer. It's an actual, you feel protected. You feel, you don't feel like they were actually coming and casting spells over your children. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray my Lord my soul to keep, and if I die, why would we be dying before we wake? I pray my Lord my soul to take it. Did we know that Lord was the man and God is the spirit? Lord is referring to the man, and we have Lord, 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 Lord all over the Bible. Not Father God, not the Holy Spirit. Okay, it's Lord, 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 Lord. Don't you realize that the Roman royalty spoke, "My Lord, my Lord"? Okay, it doesn't take rocket science to put these things together. Okay, okay, okay. Christmas was children. They were sacrificing children. Rituals, festivals. Okay, Halloween. That is a sacrificing children for the occult. Okay, why would you celebrate Halloween if you understand that they are doing that? Okay, why would I continue to celebrate Christmas if I understand that is the meaning that it was made for? It's not up to us to come along and change what someone else created it for, because it will always carry the same spirit of evil. It will always carry the same energy in which it was created for. Okay. And I'm just saying, we don't have the right to come and change what somebody else made and make it into what we want it to mean. That's not what we're here for. We're not here for that. Okay. We have to learn to stop taking everything that everybody says and adding it to our plate. As people, before we were invaded by, other cultures, peoples, things of that nature, as black and brown people, we had a relationship to the earth. Okay, as black and brown people, we have to understand it is time for us to cultivate Mother Earth with our energy. Stop entertaining the tomfoolery. Okay, if it does not serve your higher purpose, understand there is um, blessings that are bestowed upon you when you act a certain way, that you're able to self control, okay, to enact your own self awareness, self control, okay. Everything is not a fight, everything is not an argument, okay. Judging the next person, okay, based on whatever you think that they may have done. If you have not had any type of conversation, to understand what the person may have meant, you don't go into attacking or judging the next person and constantly put that out into the universe and not expect to get it back, especially when somebody is not fucking with you. It's really a self destruct mindset. Self mastery is getting in your mind, undoing some of the misinformation, mis indoctrinate the indoctrination, okay, of false information. Self mastery is undoing what's been done in your own mind. Coming into self awareness and understanding that when you know better, you apply it. And when I learned history, I had no choice but to apply it in my life because it's real. It's what's real. Okay. So and like I said, I just want to leave with this on a note. Like I said, we don't do this. Christians are not up here compared to spiritualists. You know, Jewish, they're not up here compared to Christians. You know, we don't have a spiritual or religious ranking of the church. God is ready to cast them all out. Understand that, okay? Because all of them have put falseness into the people. All of them. All of the religions have separated the people even further. The divine, okay, knew that we all were unified. It took us all to be unified in love, one voice, one frequency, okay, to overcome. And when we get there, we'll overcome everything, anything that comes our way. And the divine royalty before, you know, Romans and things like that. These were the Phoenicians, the PHE, okay, not the PHOE. Yeah, I didn't know it was a difference between those two. Okay, there was a copycat Phoenician. The first Phoenicians, though, were back in 500 BC, somewhere in there, Mesopotamia, and the Tartarians as well also taught self mastery. Self mastery was the secret teachings of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. They taught the disciples that the way to the Creator is within you. The Tartarians, Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, and now you have another culture that you can refer. Self mastery was taught by Phoenicians in the 500 BC, I want to say. Another one of those cultures that they tried to, bury. They want you to believe that it was only the PHOE and not the PHE. Okay, the PHE came before PHOE Phoenicians. Okay, so we know the Egyptians and the Phoenicians started to sacrifice. I'm not sacrifice, but actually worship the sun as God. Okay, and that was looked at as false. Okay, so the Egyptians and the PHOE Phoenicians um, have been given like a bad reputation in the spiritual culture for worshiping the sun god Ra. Okay, but if we understand that the sun is the light, SON, sun is the light. Okay, and I'm gonna leave you with that there. That may be a little riddle for y'all to figure out right there. The sun, SON, is the light. So, like I said, I just wanted to, kind of put a few things out there, kind of get some sort of, you know, some sort of just clear the air, clear some type of understanding about where people may be misunderstanding. We all should read. We all should look for facts. We all should look for discernment, in everything we do. We have to discern within our own spirit. Spirit, is this cool? Is this right? We run across people, your spirit gives you nudges. It's up to you to ignore it or listen to it. Okay? Your spirit is always going to give you warnings if you're connected to it. Okay? Because a lot of you have ignored your spirit for so long and you've walked in unhappiness for so long that your spirit has now left you. You have to start calling your spirit back to you. Okay? Because your higher self is what's going to help you get to a better place in life. if you're not connected with your higher self, then, you know, you probably wanted to listen to this video. Okay? And that's okay. But it's just been a lot of confusion. We all have to come together. Our people used to trade. We trade materials, we trade weapons, we traded goods, you know, we traded secrets, we traded religions. Okay? We taught them all our secrets about our connection to the earth. And they took it like they do. They take everything and make it theirs. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta stop being hoodwinked. Stop being bamboozled. We have to choose to unplug, man. We have to choose to see the light. If you keep judging people based on religion and things of that nature, if you keep trying to categorize yourself as being better than the next, God will humble you, right? If you keep trying to, you know, spiritually attack someone, you will receive that back, you know? It's really time to stop walking in ignorance. Ignorance being uneducation. To stop taking everything that everyone tells us and go read so that we know the facts for ourselves. Okay? We can't judge the next if we don't know what they're talking about. Okay? Okay? So, peace, love, and light, y'all. Sending love, sending prayer. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I block and I bind. And I block, I bind, and I send back any evil eye, witchcraft, voodoo spells, cantations, incantations, and things like that. I don't have time for that, y'all. Okay? Never have, never will. Okay? And so now, and another thing, October 13th is a day for divine feminine. Okay? So then they turned October 31st into Halloween. They mad because, you know, divine feminine had a day to be powerful. And so they picked a day that was direct opposite of 13. So Friday the 13th is not, it's not an evil day. But the 31st is. On October 31st is. Okay. So they picked the day with the exact same numbering, but just kind of, you know, turned around. So just tips and tricks how to live, you know, life in peace. You know, that's all I want is peace. That's all I've ever looked for was peace and genuine relationships, genuine people. Because I'm a genuine person with a very big heart. Okay. The only people that have ever used and abused me was the ones that I allowed. And once I said that was over, that's what it was. Okay. So y'all have a good night.